cool. So we're here with Craig Harper. Craig's come in from Hampton to join us on the podcast today. Craig is a number of things. So let me see, an author, a podcaster, a presenter, a speaker, an exercise scientist. Mate, you're a man of many skills and many talents. Why don't you tell us about yourself? Introduce yourself. Who is Craig Harper?
Thank you, Doc. I'm all of that and always just trying to learn and grow and evolve. I'm a bit of a teacher and I'm a bit of a student. So my background is in the fitness industry, working in gyms, owning gyms. I set up the first personal training centre in Australia in 1990 or maybe 89, about 90 I think it was. I started PTing in the mid-80s, started working in gyms in 82, went back to uni when I was a bit older and did a degree in exercise science. Opened a bunch of centres, employed about 500 trainers. And that kind of opened the door for other things, a bit of speaking and a bit of coaching and working with companies, and opened the door to a little bit of media. I worked on Channel 10 for a while, worked in radio for about 20 years, still do bits and pieces of radio. Wrote a few books, as you said, but it kind of the fitness industry, or wherever we start, can often be a platform for other stuff. So for me, the fitness industry and working in gyms kind of opened the door on a whole lot of stuff around human behaviour and thinking and performance at an athletic level, but also on a cognitive and emotional and a sociological and a really kind of fundamental level. Why do I do the stuff I do? Why do I think the way I think? What's working? What's not? How come I want to get in shape and I last 2 weeks every time and then I throw it in? Or how come that guy with not much talent achieves amazing stuff and that guy or that girl with heaps of talent doesn't? So, I really started working with bodies because I was a morbidly obese kid. I was the fattest kid in my school. So
really?
my name at school was Jumbo. So you were Doc and I was Jumbo.
Yeah, right.
Just fat little fucking Jumbo, just fucking waddling around the playground. And so that kind of, then I lost a lot of weight and became very interested and passionate about and probably unbalanced about exercise and looking a certain way and being a certain way. And, you go on your own personal odyssey of what you want to do or look like or understand or pursue, or what fascinates you or what, floats your boat. And then that, I always think if you can work at the stuff that you're personally fascinated with or interested in or curious about or love, then, and it's cliche, but you don't feel like you're working. So I've never had a job ever that I didn't really. I've done a few things around when I was younger, like I worked in pubs and got punched in the face for $12 an hour and all that shit when I was young, which was the highlight of my professional career.
Right. I was going to pubs and paying $12 per pot and getting punched in the face.
That's probably. Well, I definitely had a better deal. And so, and these days I'm doing a PhD in neuroscience and looking at the correlation between motivation and creating lasting change. But in terms of my job these days, I talk to teams and companies and organisations all around thinking better, doing better, choosing better, creating better outcomes. And, how do we even, and in the middle of all of that, doing and creating and, how do we, in the middle of that, how do we self-manage? So how do I manage me in the middle of the mayhem? So how do I, create balance and calm and joy? And so I work with a lot of people, and you would have met a lot of people from the outside in. Their life is fucking amazing. Do we swear?
Yeah, we can swear, yeah.
From the outside looking in, their life is amazing, but the inside out experience is depression and anxiety and overthinking and self-doubt and self-loathing, and not everybody, of course, but a disproportionate number of people. So we kind of grow up in this paradigm that success is about stuff, what you have, what you earn, what you own, what you get, what you look like, what people think of you. And then sometimes, you get there and you go, well, I've ticked a lot of boxes, but I'm still unhappy.
In the same position up here.
Or I'm still feel like there's something missing. And so that's the stuff that fascinates me.
That's interesting. I would say that's one of the things, if not the thing that fascinates me the most. So I'm really keen to dive more into that, and I'm sure we will. But I want to just bring it back a little bit because you gave us lots of information there, Craig. But for you, obviously, like you said, you were Jumbo in school. You were the fat kid.
Jumbo.
And I assume that I'm going to make the assumption that was a part to play in your fitness journey coming through. But what was it that motivated you to actually start your fitness journey and then to evolve and go, okay, how do I actually get more in peak performance? What is it that grabbed you about all that stuff?
So I'll answer the first question, then the second. So the first bit was what started me. So I think with a lot of, like, if you talk to most people and say, is your life amazing and awesome and you don't want to change anything? The answer is probably no for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, there are things that I would like to do different or better or create different outcomes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have that same thinking for years, and then they wake up and they're 10 years older and they're still thinking, I should change this, I should do that, I should lose weight, get out of this job, get out of this shit relationship, whatever it is. But so my focus with my PhD and also just my interest in general is how come people don't do the stuff they should do, right? And so for me, I think, so I had a personal experience, which I'll tell you in one sec, but I think for a lot of people, something happens internally where there's like almost like an emotional tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called The Tipping Point.
Yeah, I've got it over there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I actually haven't read it.
It's a good book.
Yep.
So I think quite often we need to wait, or we seem to wait till there's enough internal leverage before we go, fuck it, I'm sick of this, whatever this is, and I'm going to go and change. So my fuck it moment was the year 8 swimming sports, where I was fattest kid in the school. I didn't want to swim, but I was forced to swim, which is okay. It was nobody's fault. It's my own. So jumbo, 14 years old, 90-something kilos, about that tall, about 5'5", 5'6", morbidly obese, standing on the lane 8, fucking starting blocks, looking shit, feeling shit, embarrassed, humiliated. And kind of, for me, that was a moment where I said to myself, I'm never, ever doing this again. So I swam, got out of the pool, got changed, went home, and that day was the first time in my life I ever trained. I went for a run, run, because I couldn't run.
Shuffle.
And that was a, thanks, mate. No, it's true. Just a fucking fat little kid walking, running, walking. Yeah. And
mate, I did it at a fun run only about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was shuffling.
So I got back, didn't die, and went, all right, I'll do it tomorrow. Did it the next day, went, all right, didn't die, I'll do it. And then I actually lost 30 kilos in about 15 weeks.
Wow.
So I went from low mid-90s. Yeah.
Wow. That's
and
incredible.
I was just incredibly focused because I just didn't want that feeling again. And so I think for a lot of people, it's not how much talent we have, how much potential we have, how much knowledge, how much education, resources, or even support. And all of those things you would think are paramount, but they are not. They matter. But what matters more is whether or not you'll just do the fucking work. It's like for you to build this podcast, there's work, there's organisation, there's processes. And when you start, you don't have sponsors and you don't have anyone going like, you're well done, mate. And you have 3 people going, yeah, it was all right. Yeah. And your starting point for a lot of things is I'm shit at this. Well, how do you get great at anything? Well, you first start by being shit or not very good. So for me, when I started fitness, I was shit. I was fat, I was unfit, I was unhealthy, I had no idea. And I just threw myself into the process. And clearly, you know, my focus then and my motivation then was really about just not having that experience again. I just don't want to be the socially marginalised, embarrassed fat kid.
The feeling wasn't great and you didn't want to be there again.
Yeah, correct.
That's understandable.
Correct.
For sure. And then, all right, well, that's interesting. So, and would you say that because I've heard a bit of your stuff around the traps and part of your story and so forth, but I've heard you talk about you went into bodybuilding. Did it go from, okay, I don't want to be the fat kid, but I don't want to be the fat kid, so I'm going to be the big jacked kid, and that's going to make me happy, and that's
100%.
going to be everything that I ever wanted.
Exactly.
And then what happened when you got there?
Well, I was just a bigger, more insecure fuckwit. I was still a fuckwit. I was still an insecure fuckwit. I was a bit taller with more mass. So I did the running thing and I ended up, well, this is how dumb I was, honestly, or this is how insecure and unhinged I was. So probably by the time I was 15, 16, I was running every day of the year, 365 days of the year. I was lifting weights, but also running. But I was addicted to running. I was addicted to training because when I trained, I looked a certain way. And when I looked a certain way, I got approval. Right? And if you're insecure, you want approval.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I started doing more weights, less running, as I started to, as testosterone kicks in. And then by the time I was... 21, 22, that was like my life revolved around being big. And being, I was working in gyms, but all I did was eat fucking chickens and eggs and lift heavy shit and go to sleep. And again, obviously training is good, exercise is good, eating well is good, managing your body is good, but there's also an element or there's a line, I guess, where you go, all right, this is good, this is healthy, this is sensible. There's the line, now this is ridiculous, now I'm obsessed, this is compulsive, this is irrational. Now I'm getting my entire sense of self and self-esteem from how I look or how big I am. And I woke up one day, I was living with a guy, shout out, his name's Dave, and he was a surfie, didn't give a shit about any of this, didn't understand bodybuilding or bodybuilders, thought it was stupid.
Surfers never really do they? They just look at you and go, mate, you are a weirdo.
He's like, you're a fucking unit. He goes, what is wrong with you?
I grew up on the Moynes Peninsula, and some of my mates would see me go to the gym and they're like, mate, you're a flog.
Yeah. I was a flog though. Anyway, so probably still am, some people would contend. So he one night, it was a weekend, we were going out, we're heading out to, something, function, whatever. And I was in the bathroom and just getting ready, had on a pair of jeans. I was about, this fucking full house, 100 kilos, veins and shit everywhere. And he walks down, he's talking to me from the next room, and then he's saying something, then he walks into the bathroom and I'm standing in there in pair of jeans and no shirt, and I'm shaving, and this will be no good for the audio only people, but I'm shaving like this, where I've got my arms, and because my arms and everything are so fucking stupidly big, I can hardly shave, and I've got no flexibility. And he just looked at me and goes, what is wrong with you? And I go, what? Like, because he hadn't seen me with a shirt off for a long time. He goes, you look fucking stupid. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, do you trust me? I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, look at me. I go, what? He goes, you've lost your shit. I'm like, what? And he was like the voice of reason that my insecurity didn't want to turn up.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, how big do you want to be?
Yeah.
Like,
how uncomfortable do you want to be shaving your face?
And then what? Okay, so now you're 2 more kilos of muscle. Now 4. Now why? And I didn't compete.
Yeah.
So that was one of those, and I remember that conversation, and that was just one of those moments in time where, so over
it's another one of those checkpoints that you remember where 100%. Your life took a bit of a different route, I feel like. Is that right?
And I started to become more introspective and reflective and think about my internal world, not just my external, what people didn't see. Because we're so obsessed with what people think of us and what people see, and we're so obsessed with belonging to a tribe or a group, that it's really easy to do a disservice to our own kind of value system and because I want to belong so much that I'll do whatever I need to do to belong.
Yeah. I actually think, so I've had, through this podcast, I've had over the last number of years, I didn't go this year, but I've had media passes always to the Arnold and to the FitX and the Health and Fitness Expo and so forth. And I walk in there every single time and I just walk, it makes me feel very, very uncomfortable, that vibe. I walk in and I look around and I see the figure models and so forth that are, chocolate body, eating their, banana or cake so they can get their veins pumping. Then I see the bodybuilders who can't walk through the door and who look ridiculous in my opinion. Then I see the powerlifters who I think are nearly the fittest people there, but they're like overeating, big and fat and whatever. I walk in and I go, every time I walk into this joint, I go, what the fuck about this joint is health and fitness?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the extreme expo. This is the extremes of body and soul expo, basically. And I think, I totally understand where you're at in this point,
I think there's a way to do it that is healthy, but to your point, I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Right? And especially when you start throwing chemicals into the mix and all of that stuff and steroids and whatever. And the thing is that one of my best friends is Josh Lenardowitz, who's a fucking giant.
Yeah.
But we talk all the time about insecurity and we've had this conversation. He's Australia's best bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's won multiple pro shows, competed in the...
He's a big boy.
Competed in the last 2 Olympias, not the one just gone because he was crook, but the last, big unit.
Yep.
But I said to him, and he walks around, he's my height, and he walks around it, so I'm 5'9.5". He probably reckons he's taller. He's definitely not. Josh, if you hear this, you're not. But he walks around at like 140.
Yeah.
And I've said to him a few times, so what happens when you're done and dusted and you come back to like 100 or 95? It's like, I can't wait. So I like that because he is purely a professional competitive bodybuilder. He realizes that in terms of optimal health, well, it's not optimal health, but you're getting on stage to meet certain criteria.
Yeah, you're a performer.
But he doesn't get his sense of self purely from his appearance. And I think that's the, and it's the same with, I worked with St Kilda in the AFL and Port Melbourne in the VFL and Melbourne Vixens in the National Netball League and Nissan Motorsport and lots of teams. And, a lot of athletes also get their sense of self from, I am an AFL player.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm a V8 supercar driver. Yeah. Or from, their Insta following. I've got 75,000 followers, or from their PhD, or from whatever it is.
Yeah.
And for me, the interesting thing is trying to figure out who we are beyond all that shit, beyond your body, beyond what people think you, beyond your brand and your bank balance, but trying to figure out the deeper stuff.
All right, that's really quite an interesting topic. So I want to ask you a question because it's one of the I don't really come with many questions prepared. I got a handful of little things scribbled down on this bit of paper. But what I did want to ask you, and this is probably a good time to ask it, is in knowing what you know and where you are now and everything you've told me, and I haven't even heard 99.9% of your story, but what is health to you? What would you say is health and wellness? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, awesome. So for me, health is a multi-dimensional thing. It is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social. So it's those 5 areas. And so
what were they? Can you say that again?
Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social.
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
So I believe that well-being is an inside-out thing. So, for example, we might find the bodybuilder that we were just talking about, guy or girl, he or she is 5% body fat, it's got the abs, got the veins, got the beautiful symmetry, the balance, that looks fucking amazing. He or she has got an eating disorder. He or she self-loathes, self-harms. They hate themselves. They've got a terrible relationship with their body. They overthink the shit out of everything. They get their entire sense of who they are constantly from what they look like. Yeah. So you might go, well, they're in good physical shape but terrible emotional shape. So I would say overall they're not well. Yeah. Conversely, you might get somebody who's really calm and relaxed and they live a purpose-filled life and they make lots of money. And they're really great human beings, but they're in a body that's going to fall apart in 3 weeks because they constantly eat shit. And
their mates are calling them Jumbo.
Yeah, their mates are calling them back to that. And so it's not about being extreme. It's understanding that you are not a body and you are not a mind and you're not a bunch of emotions and you're not a spirit and you're not just a social creature. You're kind of all of it. And if you're physically well but emotionally unwell, then you're unwell. Yeah. If you're physically and emotionally okay, but you've got a lot, some real cognitive challenges, like you overthink so much that now you don't sleep. Well, now you don't sleep, so now your endocrine system's fucked. Your nervous system's fucked. Yep. You're not recovering. You're underslept. You're over fatigued. Now you make bad decisions. Now you're a fuckwit to be around. People don't want to talk to you because your temper's up and your tolerance is, so
social health goes down the drain.
Everything affects everything. And so I believe that, what I love about the Buddhist philosophy is essentially it's a philosophy, not a religion, that has no deity and is all about helping us to understand and manage our mind. How do I manage my mind? Because my mind is the control center for my life.
100%.
That's where I make decisions. That's where I interpret the world around me. That's where I give things meaning. That's where I tell myself stories. Yeah. And think about this. If right now, for example, we are here in this moment and I'm thinking to myself, this is bullshit. This is a fucking waste of my time, and I'm frustrated, and I'm a bit angry, and which isn't my story.
I'm hoping you're
not. But no, it's good. I'm enjoying it. But if that was my story, that's the cognitive story. Yeah. Then what happens is there's an emotional response, which is fear and anxiety and resentment and all this shit. Then there's a biological response, which is elevated heart rate, respiration, blood pressure, adrenaline, cortisol, norepinephrine, endocrine system, sympathetic nervous system. So just a thought, this is bullshit, I don't want to be here, he's a dickhead, this is a bad experience, whatever. You tell yourself, this is how powerful the mind is, for good and bad, where you tell yourself a story, you believe the story, and then you start to inhabit that real world experience.
Yeah, everything trickles down from there, basically. Would you say, obviously everything you've mentioned here, physical, emotional, spiritual, social, and what was the other one?
Sociological.
Yeah. So would you say that, realistically it starts from the mind, right? Because everything else goes out the window. I came up from a very happy upbringing. Everything went my way. I was good at football and had lots of mates and so on and so forth. I went through a period where starting business, my social life really struggled, financial pressures and so forth. And I actually started to get really bad social anxiety and depressive states or whatever. And that's when I realized, I was like, well, nothing else matters at the moment. I need to get this right, because 100%. If this isn't right, then what do you have?
100%.
What do you have? So,
100%.
So this is an interesting period of time, I think, that we're in, Craig. And I'm keen to hear your thoughts on it, because I'm really keen to hear your thoughts, because you've kind of been in, I think you're in the era where you kind of came up before mobile phones, I would imagine, and then you're coming through, and you're still probably, you're pretty across this new social media age that we're in. So you've kind of seen the full gamut. I have a little bit too. I'm 33, but the emotional health of the masses these days, how do you think it compares to back in the day? Because you hear all these figures about there's a rise in male suicide and depressions and so on and so forth. We have this epidemic going on of mental health. And I do believe that to be the case. But maybe it is just because men are more open to talking about it now. It's reported more, so on and so forth. But for me, I feel like we have a crisis of ego at the moment, or a crisis of values, or a crisis of, because of the social media era that we live in.
Yeah, sure.
The whole wellness landscape in this day and age, how has that changed since you were kind of coming up?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously there was no social media. So the access that everyone has now to an audience is different. Like anyone, I can write I can write a post right now, put it on my social media platforms, and people all around the world can see it in 10 seconds, and that was never a thing. So there's this, what we have now is this instant gratification or this instant rejection, depending on the outcome of our followers to our posts.
Yeah.
But I think the problem, I'll come full circle, but I think the problem with social media is not social media, but rather how we use it, or perhaps more specifically, how some people use it. So I don't follow your stuff. I will after this. But, I only use mine to share positive stuff.
Yeah.
Right? If it wasn't for what I do, I would not be on any platform.
Yeah.
And not that it's bad, just doesn't interest me in terms of here's a snapshot of my fucking breakfast. I'm not interested. And that's not that people shouldn't do that, but it's not my thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very much social media is a resource that we have, that we choose how we use it. The problem is, one of the challenges is we are wildly insecure creatures for the most part. So when someone says to you 99 times, mate, you're great, and then one goes, no, you're a fucking dickhead, that's the only one that penetrates. So you can get 99 compliments and one criticism, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
And that'll be, and because like with my stuff, I'm quite straightforward. Like I'm very compassionate and I care about people and I love people. And my agenda, in inverted commas, is actually to serve and help and come from a place of love. But because of my style, there are a percentage of people who go, love you, Harps, love your stuff, fucking come to every workshop that I do, buy everything that I write, whatever. Or just follow me on social media and support me that way, which is awesome. But just statistically, you're going to have a percentage of people who go, you're a moron. Yeah. Like I had a bloke send me a message and go, I want to put you in a plane and drop you into an active volcano. I'm like, dear Brian, thanks for your feedback. Hope you're having a great day. All the best, Harps. Like, seriously.
Very creative too, to take the time and go, mate,
like,
how am I going to get him the worst here? I'm going to tell him the plane's pretty bad. If I dropped him into the sea, I'm going to drop him into a fucking volcano.
Yeah, active volcano. Yeah. I'm like, well, that's quite the demise. Thanks for thinking of that. And
that'll be newsworthy. I'll go down in history.
Enjoy your dinner. All the best, Harps.
It is funny. It's funny how people. It's funny the social media the trolling setup where I don't really. I have a small following. I've never really had any hate, like that. I wonder where the tipping point is, where you get to a certain level where people are like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I would never say this to him in person, but I'm going to tell him that I hate his guts and drop him drop him into a volcano.
It doesn't bother me. I don't love it, but I understand people. It's like, I don't know who said it, but it's a very famous saying: seek first to understand, and then to be understood. Mm-hmm. So, everyone lives in their own self-created reality, and so the nature of reality, which this is going deep, but I'm sure you're into it. The nature of reality is completely subjective.
Yeah.
So we might have, I don't know, 10,000 people listen to this. I don't know what it is. 10,000 people. That's 10,000 personalities. Mm-hmm. That's 10,000 histories and backgrounds and belief systems and values and likes and dislikes. And so it's pretty much certain that no one will have an absolutely identical experience to anyone else for the entirety of this podcast.
Yeah.
So you go, all right, well, there's one conversation shared on through one medium or whatever it is, but that's processed and downloaded by 10,000 different people, for example.
10,000 different ways.
10,000 different experiences. And so someone will say, that was fucking fascinating and insightful. And someone will go, yeah, I don't know. And someone else will go, that was boring. Someone else will go, that conversation's changed my life.
Yeah.
And that's really about how we respond to different things. And again, that comes back to managing your mind and there's this weird idea it's not a weird idea, but there's this area in behavioral psychology and neuroscience called metacognition. And metacognition is thinking about thinking. Yeah. It's having an awareness of how you think.
Yeah, watching the thinker and the thoughts.
So that's, Eckhart and a whole bunch of...
Yeah, pretty aware of, the concept.
Yeah. And so one of the questions I ask people, a self-awareness question, is what do you think it's like being around you? Like what's the Doc experience like, or what's the Craig experience like, or what's the Sally experience? And not so that all of a sudden we become this overthinking, insecure person, but rather so that we go, oh, okay, because my intention is not always your experience.
Yeah.
And that's and again, this means if an important part of what you do is connection and conversation and creating healthy relationships, then understanding someone else's worldview doesn't mean agreeing with them, but understanding really matters.
Yeah, being empathetic, I guess.
Yeah.
Being empathetic. I remember days past. I have one great example of two examples actually that come to mind of when your reality and someone else's reality doesn't fit. I had a guy, and I won't mention his name. Starts with a double L. It's one of those weird double L names. It's not Lloyd, So there's not many of them getting around, but it's not Lloyd.
Llama Smith.
Yeah. So I went to my mate Fletcher's 30th birthday party, and my mate, let's call him Sam, because I don't want to drop his name. My mate Sam, he came up to me and I was like, Sam, mate.
Is this double L?
Yes, this is double L. I said, Sam, haven't seen you in years, mate. What's going on? And I've always loved this bloke. Right. I've always felt like every time I see Sam, it's a bloody good time.
There's a connection.
Yeah, it's really good. And I've always thought he's just a great bloke. He's one of those guys that's like peripheral friend. Right. Friend of my friends. And I'd never get on the phone with him, but, a guy that I'd see at the pub or see down the local footy, and I'm like, I love this dude. Anyway, so we were having beers, and he was actually quite drunk. And he came up to me and he said, and this actually hit me for six. He goes, mate, I've always wanted to tell you one thing. I said, yeah, Lalen, what's that, mate? He goes, you're a dickhead, I think he said to my face. And I said,
wow.
What? And he goes, you're an asshole. You've always been a prick to me. And you've always been a prick to me. You and your mates have always talked bad about me, and I know it. I know you've always blah, blah, blah. All that. And he just unloaded on me. Wow. And I was like, mate, I fucking love you. I thought we were great friends. And he's like, you don't, right. And I thought to myself, and I got a little bit fired up, not like let's fight, but I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I walked away, and I actually left the party like shortly after. I hung around for about an hour, but it kind of rattled me. And then I spoke to him afterwards when he was sober and so forth, and he was like, oh, look, I go through a bit of this and that and some self-worth stuff, and I've always felt like you and your friends kind of like look down upon me or this and that. And for me, I've never, ever in my life thought of Lalen,
Sam.
As anything.
It's all right, mate. He did say in his stupid defence that he fucking loves you.
Yeah, that's
he said
right.
he loves you.
That's right. So,
and it's all good.
So, but in my eyes, I've always just had the greatest time with this guy, you know.
Yeah.
But I've got a loud voice and a boisterous personality and so forth, and it's happened to me. And I've got other examples, but his reality was totally different to my reality.
Yes.
And it was the first time I've sat back and I was like, fucking, hang on a second, how is this possible? But it's a perfect example of like, you know, your self-biographical stories that you tell yourself and how they relate to people around you. Because
you can almost guarantee that very few people see you like you see you.
Yeah.
Because your experience of you is the inside out, theirs is the outside in.
100%.
So you've never stood over here and had a conversation with you, which sounds fucking ridiculous, I know.
Yeah.
But so
I'd be crazy if I did.
It'd be good though. Just light something up. But one of those, I guess, sliding doors things almost is that if whoever you have in this spot is going to have a different opinion of you, or they'll go away with a story about you. And it's one of the things that happened to me early days was I wrote the first personal training accreditation with a friend of mine.
Yep.
And I used to teach that all the time. And I was, we're probably a bit similar, I guess confident or happy. For the most part, my life's fucking great. I always say to people, if I complain about my life, punch me in the face because I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Right? My life's ace.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the bits of feedback that I used to get, because they would have assessment or feedback forms at the end of the course, was, Craig's great, loved him, da-da-da-da, but for the first couple of weeks, he was really intimidating.
Yeah.
Or I was intimidated.
Yeah.
And Tara, her name is, I said, how the fuck? Like, I tell dick jokes. I'm an idiot. I carry on.
I walked in with my pants down one day.
Yeah, fucking whatever. I fuck around. She's like, yeah, but she goes, yeah. She calls me sweetie. She goes, sweetie. She goes, you are intimidating. I go, what do you mean? She goes, I love you, but you're intimidating. Why? She goes, you have a presence. You don't get it.
Yeah.
She goes, you're like this fucking big... You know stuff. You just, you're quite forthright.
Loud,
and I'm
muscly,
like,
all that
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
And for me, I went, oh, well, that's really interesting. And so you can get defensive or you can get self-aware.
Yeah.
And I had to go, okay, so how do I fix that? Because if you think you're not intimidating, but 10 people do, you're intimidating. Doesn't matter what your intention is.
That's right.
If 10 people tell you the same thing and you don't listen, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't
10
mean
10 versus 1.
That's right. Still be you, but figure out how do I connect with people in a way which is going to resonate better than I currently do. Because one of my jobs is to go into companies and I do a lot of stuff around culture and communication and team building and leadership and all of those things, which I think you've done a bit of. But quite often I'll get to a company and I'll go and meet with the CEO or whoever's in charge for half an hour before I go and talk to the team. And in the first 5 minutes, it's like, it's all right, I found the problem. The problem's in this office up the end of the fucking passage.
Yeah.
The problem's here. It's all right. I don't need to talk to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock the door here. We've got the problem cordoned off.
Let's quarantine.
Bring in the excavation team.
Let's quarantine this shit off.
Because we don't need to do the talk anymore.
No. And when you talk to someone who's in a leadership position, they're not a leader. They're just in that position.
Yeah.
And like everyone and everything is a problem except them, and everybody's an idiot and nobody understands. I'm like, dude, do you know what you sound like?
Yeah,
and that could be a girl or a guy, but do you get that? You are hard work. That you get that you're, and this is the constant or one of the constant challenges in, I think, anyone who has a job that requires communication and connection. Like this is a medium about communication. And if you don't have good conversations and you don't have good content and people don't like listening to you, you don't have a podcast. Doesn't matter how great your intention is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much you know. The bottom line is, and I say this to lots of people who want to be speakers or authors, the bottom line is, do people want to listen to me? Because if you're a genius with great messages, ideas and stories, but people don't want to listen to you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So so what got you into, it's a good time to probably segue into this high performance stuff. It's something that I'm
Sure.
quite fascinated in. So what got you transitioning from, I don't know if it was a transition because I don't know the full timeline, but into the high performance sphere? What got you fired up about that?
Okay, so let's put it in two camps, the sporting and the non-sporting. So in the sporting space, I was always working with athletes in a casual way. Mm-hmm. And one of my first trainers was a guy who played for St Kilda Football Club. His name was David Grant, all Australian, really good footballer. And I used to train him and a few of the boys from St Kilda. And I ended up getting a contract as the strength coach for St Kilda through that. And ended up working with a bunch of teams. And so that kind of opened that door. And I've always been interested in potential. And whether or not that's in business or even in rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. Like I'm rehabilitating one of my friends at the moment who was given the last rites. He was going to die, definitely going to die, like 1% or less chance that he'll live. And even with working with him, so I started training him over a year ago in a wheelchair, and now he's walking and he's driving. And
what?
So for me, that whether or not it's in that capacity or it's how fast can you fucking run, or it's how much can you bench, or it's how big can you build this brand, or it's how far can this podcast go. So I'm interested in potential in that capacity. I'm also interested in our potential for, and this is swinging the pendulum the other way, but being able to be the calm in the chaos, and being able to create an internal state that is high performance is the wrong word, but a place that I like to be. Because I feel like, we exist and operate in two worlds, physical, three-dimensional world, where we can have stuff and do stuff and own things and drive things and run around. And so situation, circumstance, environment, business, work, school, outcomes, government, weather, whatever, all those external things and money. But then the internal place, which is, thoughts, ideas, feelings, emotions, likes, dislikes, experiences, memories, values, spirituality, hopes, dreams. That's kind of where we live, which is why 5 people in the one physical space are all having a different experience. Like 5 people are in the same room, but not in the same reality.
Yeah.
100 people in the same room, 100 people in a different reality, because reality is a byproduct of thinking. And so for me, it was really about how do I just help people get the most out of themselves. And also, for me, my business went really well when I started. I set up, I think I was 26 when I set up Harper's, which was my first centre, and very creatively named, and had a whole team working on that. But by the time I was 30, I was, relative to where I'd come from, really successful.
Yeah.
Like way more successful than the fat kid who grew up in Latrobe Valley ever thought he would be. So a couple of centres, 3 centres, lots of staff, beach house, all these things and clearly those are just things, right? That's
all
just
the
stuff.
External validators.
But all that, and in the middle of all of that, I'm like, And I was so busy. Managing egos, attitudes, personalities, people, the bottom line, multiple businesses. I actually had 2 other businesses as well as the gym. So I had 5 businesses. And so I literally had 100 staff on the payroll, give or take. And in the middle of all of the money and the success and the pats on the back and people going, fuck, Harps, you're killing it. And I would wake up every night anxious and every night with palpitations. And every night I would have, just like you've got right there, a pen and pad. I would wake up, turn on the light next to me, and I would write whatever was in my head. I would write that out because I couldn't rest until I got it out of my head and onto the page. Yeah. And then one day I just went, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just turned it all around. I just walked away from nearly everything. Yeah.
That's fascinating. So, because I feel like, I feel like that a lot, I feel the lack of stillness internally. You know what I mean?
100%, dude.
I'm always on, and I'm always worrying about what other people think about me and where, the business is and so forth. And like you, I know that my life is fantastic. My friends and family are amazing. I love what I do. I'm healthy. I'm young. I'm a good bloke. Whatever. I've got everything that anyone could really want to live a healthy, happy life. But I also struggle with this, that, and the other, and really do struggle to find peace and just stillness and just be happy, be content. It's particularly the last 5 years, it's been a never-ending battle for me, and something that I'm constantly trying to improve upon. But so for this, taking this into account, so like obviously there's physical wellness and physical fitness and whatever, and you can go to the gym and you can train this and train that, and that's much easier for people to get their head around.
100%.
I go to the gym, I get a personal trainer, 100%. I lift some weights, my muscles get bigger.
Yep.
So I'm very much into self-development and mindfulness and blah, blah, blah. I do a lot of stuff. But like for you, like how do you, in the high-performing realm, or if it's someone that's just a regular mum and pop that you're trying to help, how do you try and create, even for yourself, your own routine, however you want to start this conversation, but how do you actually foster that feeling of wellness and feeling of peace and feeling of happiness?
For me personally, or to help others?
For you, for anyone.
Okay, so for me, I realise it's, as I just said, it's about, here's a really easy way to do it. Not easy, but simple process. What I say to people is, what are the things that matter most to you in your life? Mm-hmm. Like really matter most. In other words, what are your values? Mm-hmm. So when I know what my values are, right? Now, I'm not saying don't make money. I'm not saying don't become a commercial success. I'm not saying that.
Yep.
I'm saying as well as doing all of that shit, which is great. Mm-hmm. I'm a corporate speaker. I get paid lots of money.
Yep.
But I don't confuse getting lots of money with who I am. Mm-hmm. And I don't confuse lots of money with success.
Yeah.
Because that's not my KPI. Mm-hmm. For me, money, as handy as it is and as appreciative as I am for what I do, it's a resource that I can do shit with.
Yep.
The last 2 cars that I bought were for my parents. Mm-hmm. I drive a Suzuki. I couldn't give a shit. I don't drive a Suzuki.
Yeah.
It's in my garage. I ride a scooter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not enamored. I used to be, but I'm not enamored with stuff anymore. So I think I say to people, what do you want to do, be, create, change, and influence? What are the things that you want to do, be, create, change, influence? And then, based on those things, what for you is non-negotiable, right? Non-negotiable. In other words, fuck, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this when I'm pumped or excited or motivated or in the zone or it's sunny or Doc's fucking cheering me on. Mm-hmm. This is what I do now.
Yeah.
This is my new normal.
Yeah.
So what needs to be your new normal? Because is your current normal working? Be really fucking honest, and it's not about beating yourself up. It's about being honest.
Yep.
Well, no, it's not working. Cool. Okay, good. Well done. So how do we create a new normal operating system? Well, we identify what's not working. Okay, what's not working? My diet. Okay, what about your diet isn't working? Well, I eat heaps of shit I just don't need. Okay, when do you do that? Well, when I socialise. And what about piss? Yeah, I get fucking shit-faced through it. Cool. Do you want to do that? No. Why do you? Because in the moment, da-da-da. Okay, so we have a whole lot of kind of patterns and behaviours and rituals that don't serve us. And the truth is that, I'm 56, and so every time I do a gig, some bloke about my age goes, how fucking old are you? And then he goes, how do you eat? How do you train? Not that I'm the high watermark, but they're interested because I'm a little bit atypical. I do not drink. I do not smoke. I've never had drugs. I've never been drunk in my life. I've never had a beer. I'm not suggesting people should do that. But what I'm saying is, for me, I created an operating system that for me works.
Yep.
And so in the top, few on my value system is living well. And that means physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially. And I can't put shit in my body and live well. Yep. So that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
And so that means, everything comes at a cost. And the cost is, for me, going to probably thousands of social events over the years where I am the only person not drinking. Yeah. And I am 100% happy. Yeah. 100% happy. And going to a wedding where there's fucking 7 courses and I eat 1. And the reason I eat 1 is because I do not need 7.
Yeah.
I know what being morbidly obese is like. I know what my genetics are. And so if I was coaching me, I would say, Craig, do you want to fuck your genetics or maximize them? I'd say, I want to maximize them. then I would say, well, this is the way that you need to eat, Craig. Not so
broccoli and the chicken's over there, Craig.
Well, yes and no. I know what you're saying, but you know what I mean.
It is a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. Well, and put in the work.
I fucking love cheesecake, for example. But I open the cheesecake door, I'm fucked. I won't come out till Tuesday. Right?
I'll come with you.
Yeah.
Let's lock the doors.
And it doesn't mean I'll never have some. I'll have some, but. You know, one of the things that people think is because you're smart or you're educated or you whatever that you don't. I'm not that smart. You don't. You're pretty smart. You're pretty smart. I listened to you talking with Ash Williams on the way over. It was funny. Funny. But you like I've still got all my bullshit. I'm still insecure sometimes. I still overthink. I still know that for me, I've got food issues. It's like you wouldn't say to an alcoholic, just have one beer, don't be an idiot. You haven't drunk for 10 years, one won't kill you. Yeah. Well, you don't understand addiction. Yeah. And so for me, because I was a fat little fucker and I believe I was pretty much an addict with food. Because I ate everything that wasn't nailed down. Yeah. I ate all the time. I didn't eat because I was hungry. I didn't eat because I needed to. I didn't eat because I was being coerced. I ate just because I loved the biochemical shit that went on in my brain. Yeah. I loved the dopamine. I loved that it made me feel amazing. Yeah. You know, but if you say to them, do you want to live your purpose? The answer is, well, I don't know what it is, but yes. Yeah. Do you want to live in an optimal body? I don't mean a six-pack necessarily. I don't mean running a sub-3-hour marathon. I don't mean making the Olympic team. But do you want to live for your age with your genetics? Do you want to have the best physical kind of ability and house that you can? And the answer is, I do. Yeah. Well, cool. So do the things that are demanded. Yeah. But the problem is, Doc, and shut me up in a minute, but the problem is that the path to get the thing we want is hard. Yeah. And people don't like hard. Yeah. Like we want the destination without the journey. Yeah. We want the reward without the work. Yeah. And this is not very popular. This doesn't fucking sell tickets to workshops. Yeah. But the truth is that, you know, there are things, quite often the things that we need to do are not the things we want to do. Mm. What we want is instant gratification. Mm. And so we go, I'll eat this shit, I'll drink this shit, I'll sit on the couch and I'll start tomorrow. And then it's 5 years later.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that instant gratification and the you know just getting to the prize rather than going down the path is actually, you know, look at people that win the lottery, for example, and then they're bankrupt and sad and you know depressed a couple of years later because it's not earned. You know, I think the saying is the journey is the way, or the journey is the destination.
Well, I think what's his name? He wrote the something is the way it'll come to me. What's his name? Fucking that young American dude.
Stephen Press.
It'll come to me.
Yeah. Oh no, Ryan Holiday.
Yeah, what's it called? The what is the way? Like the problem is the way.
I've read it. The obstacle is the way.
The obstacle is the way.
Ryan Holiday. The obstacle is the way.
But the thing is that, you know, the dichotomy is that on the one hand, if, like I say to my audiences, do you want to learn and grow and evolve and become a better version of you? Mm-hmm. And they all go, well, shit, yeah, that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. And then I say, now be honest. Do you want comfort or discomfort? They go, I want comfort. Mm. Well, that's the problem, because where you learn and grow and evolve is in the discomfort. Yeah. You know, it's like if you go to the gym, the analogy is you go to the gym, you get on the treadmill, you lift the weights, you do this, but you work at, here's your potential 10, you work at 1. Mm. So you're never giving your body a reason to adapt, to improve, to grow, to evolve, to become stronger, more flexible, more powerful, more resilient. So, and you spoke about our mind before. I believe that the way that we train our body in the gym, which is with variety and progression, we should train our mind the same. How do you build resilience mentally? Like put up your hands if you want to be more mentally and emotionally resilient. Fucking everyone. Mm-hmm. Cool. Go and do hard things. Mm. And then do more hard things and then do more hard things, because it's in the doing of the hard things that you become different. Yeah. So next time there's a hard thing, you just cope. Yeah. Like, and this is a bit deep, but so when are we recording this? What day is it? It doesn't matter. But anyway,
it's the
what is Wednesday?
9th, 30th of Wednesday.
So 2 Fridays ago, I think it was the 11th. So last Friday, 2 weeks before that, I was with my training partner at the gym. Mm-hmm. Have you heard this story?
No.
So my training partner, here, lovingly known as the Crab, Mark Lampard, multiple Mr. Australia, pro bodybuilder, ex-pro bodybuilder, all that. He's now 54. You might have heard me talking to another mate on the phone when we first came in. Anyway, we're at the gym, and the crab has this stupid habit of doing chin-ups and holding his breath.
Yeah, I heard you talk about this.
Right?
Actually.
So he did 30 chins, holds his breath for 30 reps.
Yeah.
So his blood pressure goes to 1 trillion over 1 billion. Mm-hmm. He goes from white to beige to red to pink to red to purple to whatever. Sits down on a chair, falls forward, has a cardiac arrest.
Oh.
Has a cardiac arrest at the gym. So this is 16 days ago.
Oh, shit.
Has a cardiac arrest, dies.
Oh, what?
Dies. Hang on. This is a good ending. Dies. So in the middle of this, we were right there, but I wasn't looking at him counting reps. I was talking to the other guy, Rehabilitate.
Yeah.
And I just saw the crab fall, and I'm like, what's going on? And I anyway, so it's a good ending. I turned him up. He fucking face planted, hit his head on a machine, blood everywhere. And he was face down and dead. Pulled him back, turned him over, started CPR. And so started compression, started mouth to mouth. He had blood coming out of his mouth. I'm sorry to be graphic, but this is just this is the quick version. So 16 days ago, the crab dead and me kissing him on the gob, right? And then I got another young guy to come over who was a bit panic stricken because he didn't know how to do whatever. And I said, just do this, bit of coaching on the compressions. I did the mouth to mouth. We did it between us. He was amazing. Ambos came 8 to 10 minutes later. The crab was dead for 17 minutes, right?
What?
17 minutes. What? Did not take a breath. His heart did not beat, right?
Oh.
But what was interesting was, because I do without trying to sound like a dickhead, but I do a lot of things that are high pressure, and I'm in a lot of situations that require me to be calm. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm not calm, I can't execute. And I always put myself in hard situations because I'm a lifelong learner. Mm-hmm. And what was interesting for me was, and it was just, and I don't take any credit for, because someone else would have done it anyway and all that, so it's not about me, but what, apart from the fact that he went to the Alfred, by the way, so I'll finish that story, went to the Alfred, was in a coma for 2 days, came out of the coma, and they thought he would have somewhere between a bit and fair bit of brain damage. Yeah. None.
Far out.
None. Zero. Paramedics came. Paramedics were fucking amazing. Paramedics are ridiculous. Shout out if you are in that space. Well done.
Yeah, and they get paid fuck all.
Yeah, amazing human beings. Yeah. And they were the real heroes. I kind of just kept him thereabouts till they came and fucking shocked him and all that stuff. Yeah. But my point was, like, in the middle of the mayhem, I was really calm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, thank goodness I do the work that I do. Because I know how to do CPR, which is cool, but if you know how to do CPR, but you can't manage yourself in an uncomfortable or a chaotic situation, then your knowledge about CPR is redundant. Yeah, that's It's not do you know how to do it, it's can you, and that's a very graphic illustration, but it's with anything, not what do you know how to do or what do you understand, but what can you do that's hard under pressure. Mm-hmm. Because when you do things hard under pressure, you become different. Mm-hmm. And it's not that life needs to be a never-ending series of painful moments. But sometimes, and I still have lots of fun and I still have lots of joy and I have a great social life and all of these things. But there are sometimes, like for me going back to university in my mid-50s to do a PhD, I'm the dumbest person. I'm the fucking dumbest person there, right? And I go, all right, I'm the newbie. I'm the dumbest one in the room, and I'm okay with it.
Just want to get that out and on the
just so we all know, fuckwit, 100 years old, technophobe.
You want the wrong question? Ask wrong That's answer. Right. I can't even say wrong. I can't even say the joke. Ask this guy.
But it's true, and I go, well, how can I? It's like when I wrote my first book, it was dog shit. The first draft, but how do you end up with a good book? Well, you write a dog shit draft and then you improve it, then you give it to 3 people who give you, then you improve it, then hopefully you end up with something that's in the ballpark of okay. Yep. But by the time you write your 4th or 5th book, maybe you're not bad, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't get good at the thing that you're not doing. Yeah. You can't overcome the thing you avoid.
Yeah, that's interesting. every time I ask you a question, I'm like, yeah, right. Oh, that's a good point. And then it's like, oh, that's a good. And then I go, fucking hell. So I'm just going to talk about something you mentioned earlier.
Sure.
And that was the new normal, which I think was a really good point because I have. So at the moment, myself, my brother, and his partner are looking for a house.
Right.
And we all have non-negotiables.
Right.
So it was your new normal and you were talking about non-negotiables. My non-negotiable is a big backyard for Ziggy. Jack's non-negotiable is a garage so we can put all his lifting gear and whatever we can train. And then Emma's non-negotiable, she was pretty cool. She didn't really have a strong non-negotiable.
Not high maintenance like you two.
Yeah, that's right. Not prima donnas. So, but the new normal thing is great because I need to take your advice in that regard, I think, because for me, I know through lots of self-experimentation and through having a stringent morning routine and through ups and downs in my life and stress levels or whatever, I've done a million different things to try and be still, well, calm, cool, collected, happy, whatever, and all that stuff. And the one thing that I don't really use as my non-negotiable, and draw a line in the sand for myself, which I need to make my new normal, is time with my friends, because I know that 10 hours of meditation in a week, 3 high-intensity workouts, and a cold shower every morning isn't going to give me the same wellness and feeling as catching up with my mates 2 days in an afternoon of climbing and a lunch with my mate in the week.
100%.
And getting genuine laughter with my old mates. And not even my old mates, but any friends of mine,
100%.
Being around people. And I know that, for me, that's what works. But I'm also somebody who I definitely haven't drawn a line in the sand. Like, I'll go weeks sometimes and I'll go, far out, I haven't even seen the boys. I haven't seen, this old friend or whatever. They're only around the corner. And I know that's the key mover for me. That's the lead domino to everything else being easier,
Yes,
I'll be feeling good. So I want to train and I want to get up and meditate and I want to do the right things, eat good food or whatever. That's my non-negotiable. But I really like how you put it in terms of like creating your new normal and making it just, here's my non-negotiable that makes me happy. Definitely. And it might be different. It might not be seeing your friends. You might be more of a homebody. You might be real creative. It might be making sure you go to your art class, once every 3 or 4 days, a couple of times a week, whatever it is. I like that new normal.
And that's that. I always say to people, just like for example, if I said to you, Doc, here's a block of land, here's a free block of land, and here's $500,000 to build a house, right?
Yeah.
And I go, so this is your new home. Here's your land. You've got an acre. You've got heaps of space for Ziggy. You've got a garage for your brother and whatever. Emma, is it?
Emma, yeah.
Whatever, so you got, here's $500,000 to spend on the build or whatever money. Right. Now, do you want to live in, if possible, do you want to live in your ideal home and build your ideal home, the home that best suits you, that works for you? The answer is yes. So I'm going to say to you, so would you start building tomorrow? And you go, well, no, Harps, that's fucking ridiculous because there's a lot of planning, there's architecture, there's style, there's are we weatherboard, are we brick, are we, the gardens, the water feature, the fucking carpet, the colour scheme, the layout of the, whatever. So you would spend months and months and months designing your home before you even laid the foundation, right? Then if I said to you, what's more important, your life or your house? You're going to go, well, of course, my life. And I go, well, how much time do you spend stepping away from your life metaphorically and going, what do I want the next 1, 2, 5 years to look like? If everything goes shit hot for me, what's happening in 5 years? What's my best if everything's amazing in 5 years, what am I doing? Where am I? What's my role? What does my life look like? What's my health? What's my relationship status? If everything goes well, and that of course can change in terms of what you want, but then you go, okay, now here I am. What do I need to do now or in the near future? What decisions do I need to make? What rules do I need to create? What action do I need to take? What things do I need to hold on to and let go of to make that a likely outcome? And by the way, what's my plan? What's my timeline? What happens when I can't be fucked? Because I have this, I'm this guy. So when I'm motivated, I'm a fucking gun. But when I'm not motivated, I'm not doing it. And this is the human condition. So when you say the things that you said before about being trying to find the stillness and the calm. And I go, that's normal, mate. That's not bad. That's not weak. That's human. That's everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
That's everyone.
No, you're right for sure.
I've been doing this shit forever. I'm still figuring it out. And I'm still a dickhead sometimes. And I still, and so it's okay to acknowledge your humanity and to go, well, I got to the point where I went, I get the most pleasure where I'm doing things for people. Obviously there's a limit, but when I'm helping people grow, and the reason I'm passionate about helping people grow is because I never had a mentor. I never had a coach. I never had anyone who gave a fuck when I was coming up in terms of teaching me or
making it just that little bit easier for you.
Yes. Yeah. When I opened my first business, everyone said personal training's never going to take off. It's never going to be a thing. And then it became the fastest growing component of the fitness industry for 2 decades. And it went crazy. Would have happened without me, but it just happened that I started that ball rolling. But it's so now I look at other people with more ability than I've ever had, and all the resources we now have, and I want to help them, fulfill their potential, or at least explore it a bit more. Yeah,
that's great. Giving them the leg up that you would have loved to have had.
Yeah, definitely.
Along the way. So I got another thing that I wanted to another thing I wrote down that you mentioned in some way along this conversation that we've had, and it was around purpose, because I've got a lot of mates that are really in the wellness space, the self-development. They're coaches and leaders, and they've got their own. And look, put it this way, I'm very much into self-development. I meditate, I train, I read about the human mind.
Sure.
I have a cold shower, I try and eat well, I think really deeply, and so on and so forth. But the one thing that I have a little bit of an issue with is the selling at the moment of purpose. And it might just be the way that it's framed. I had this conversation with another guest on the podcast just a couple of weeks ago.
Sure.
But because what happened was, I went out with 2 of my buddies, and one of them's he was a life coach. Now he does gut health stuff around coaching and wellness, but around gut health, which is really great, and he's really good at it. And another mate who's kind of in the counselling space and mental health and so on and so forth. And then there's me. And we went and watched the AFL Grand Final, and we were having beers and talking about this, that, and the other or whatever. And it got to the point where we started talking about somebody that they were dealing with. They both had an example of someone with lack of purpose and that they just need purpose in their life, this, that, and the other. And around the same time we're having this conversation, a few days earlier, one of my buddies had been suicidal. He's got his second kid on the way, and he's in a breakup scenario. Right. Second kid's about a month off, and they're splitting up, and they both love each other, but he's been through some stuff, and that's how it's going. So, and he said to me that he's been doing all this reading, he's been trying to better himself, and the thing that keeps him up at night is he has no purpose, he has no purpose, he has no purpose. And when he had this conversation with me, the day or two prior to that, I remember watching. It was a beautiful day. It was 30 degrees. Sun was out in Melbourne. Melbourne's best day in months. And I was in your neck of the woods, down near Hampton, or I think around that area. I was helping my buddy doing some tradie work for half a day because he needed a hand. He was going to Vietnam. And I saw this truck driver, garbage truck driver. He was going down the street, and there was a little alleyway that he had to turn left to get in and get the bins on this little, alcove. And anyway, he went to turn left, and this car was in his way, and it was going to be a 10-point turn for him. Beautiful day. And literally he stops, looks at the turn. I see what's going on. And then I hear him say, or scream, I should say. He goes, "Fuck!" And I was like, what the hell? And I looked over and I said to my brother, I was like, man, imagine being that poor bastard. Like, it's the fucking most glorious day. Like, everything's beautiful, birds are chirping, so on and so forth. So the purpose thing, and the reason that I have a little bit of an issue with it, and I'm keen to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure you got a good rebuttal, or maybe you might agree, I'm not sure. But I feel like the purpose thing is being really heavily sold at the moment, but it's being sold at the highest level. How do we walk on water? How do we eradicate, world hunger? How do all these things? What's the greater purpose in life? And, purpose doesn't have to be that, and I understand. But how do we have purpose for the people that grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, didn't get kissed on the dick, for lack of a better term, don't have much going for them, are stuck in these jobs that they're probably never going to love, and they don't really have a way out of? How do we, the issue that I have is how do we make sure that those people can be happy, well, feeling good every day?
That's a good question. So unfortunately, there will always be inequity. there will always be levels and layers. And so all you and I can do, and all your listeners and viewers can do, is the best that they can. But and so for me, I think the purpose conversation is a bit that one, right? It is a bit wanky.
Yeah.
Because it's like there with, living an aligned life and your best life and, living your higher purpose.
I'm picturing you and your Lululemons at the moment.
Or my fucking caftan or something.
Coconut latte.
Look, for me, living your purpose is just the thing that matters most to you. And I think quite often people say to me, I don't know what my purpose is. How do I find my purpose? I'm like, what do you mean you find it? It's not some preordained cosmic thing that you find under it. You don't find it under a spiritual rock or behind a fucking unicorn. You choose it.
Yeah.
You go, well, what do you want your purpose? Is it to work with kids? Is it to be a coach? Is it to be the best podcaster on the planet? Is it to be an Olympic athlete? And then once you've got that, you can fulfill your physical potential and then use your position to influence others. And, so for me, I think it is a misused term.
Yeah.
And especially in religious circles, it's kind of touted as something that we need to go and discover.
Yeah.
And it's perhaps some preordained by God thing that for me, probably not really how it goes, but, and then I also think there's another thing around it, and that is that your purpose will change over time. I don't think you're going to have the same purpose for 50 years necessarily. Like my purpose when I was 20 wasn't the same when I was 30, not the same now.
Yeah.
So my purpose at 54 to my 6 is it's different.
Yeah.
And it'll probably keep evolving, and where my mind and my focus and my energy were when I was 30, that's different now. Not better or worse, just different. And that's, I think a lot of this really comes back to, am I living on autopilot? Is my life a version of Groundhog Day? And am I, kind of frustrated or kind of underperforming or kind of underachieving in terms of what I would like to do and tapping into my potential and all of those things? Or am I living, which is also a bit wanky, but am I living an aligned life? What matters to me, and does my behavior reflect that?
Yep.
If you said to me, Craig, you can go talk tonight to 10,000 people for free and share your ideas and thoughts and messages, or you can talk and you can't sell anything. There's no books, there's nothing, and there's no pitch, there's no go to my web, there's nothing. You just talk to them, walk out of the room. You never see them again. Or you can talk to 100 people across the road for 10 grand. I'm taking the big audience every time because for me, where I am now, it matters much more.
Yeah.
It matters much more. And, like to actually, which can sound a bit wanky, but I think when you genuinely, and by the way, I've never changed one life. All I've done is kind of influenced a few. But when people send you a message and say amazing shit because you wrote something or said something or shared something, and then they went away and they did the work around that idea and then they created a result, makes me feel awesome. More awesome than money's ever made me feel.
100%.
And you get to the point where you go, okay, so like I'm a single guy. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't socialize like a lot of people do. I'm also a full-time student and a full-time worker, as in I work for me full-time. I have a full-time PA, EA, business manager, Melissa, who's amazing and runs my life. But, I don't, my life, apart from the paying her, and that all goes through the business, in terms of my personal life, it's very cheap. I don't need much money. It costs me $5 a week in petrol on the scooter. Yeah, I wear $20 army shorts and T-shirts that people give me. Yeah. I just don't need a lot to be happy.
Yeah. But the thing is, no one does.
No.
They just don't understand that.
Well, and also we build a life for ourselves that becomes very expensive because now we've got 3 cars we don't need that each cost way more than we needed to spend, and now we've got these repayments and we've got this mortgage.
We work way too long and way too hard to buy shit that we don't need or want.
And without being judgmental, if that's what people want to do, and in the middle of all of that they find themselves happy, well, that's where they should be. But for you and me, probably not the thing.
Yep.
When I first started making money, I bought all this shit and I went, wow, this is what I used to do. I'd go buy a fucking fancy car. 4 days later, I'd be, well, that wasn't it.
Yeah, that's right.
That wasn't it.
Yeah, then it's just a car.
Maybe I just got the wrong car.
Yeah.
No, you dickhead. It's never about the car. It's never about your biceps. It's never about your brand. It's never about your house.
Yeah.
It's always about you.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you've said and a lot of things that you live your life by that I wish a lot of people probably didn't take for granted. You know, one of the things is helping people. I mentioned before we started recording, my previous company, Adventure Fit. I went through periods where I didn't want to have anything to do with that business because it was too difficult, you know.
Right.
But I kept charging ahead. And the only reason why, because I used to go on these trips that people thought were, well, they were amazing. They were other people's holidays. They were the greatest holiday on the planet. But outside looking in, people would see me and they're like, oh, he just goes on holidays for a living. What an absolute life, you know. But I hated running the trips a lot of the time because I was overstressed and, you know, financially I was really tired. It wasn't a very enjoyable experience for me. But the thing that was really enjoyable, and I would say was addictive, and was the only thing that drove me forward when things were at their absolute toughest and worst, was the fact that at the end of every one of those trips, I would get handwritten letters talking about how something had changed their life. I'd get a hug with tears in my eyes, with tears in their eyes, you know, whatever, thanking me. And that shit is so addictive.
Yeah.
You know, it's the best, the greatest feeling. And I like the fact that, you know, that's something that, you know, is built into your life. You know, you've kind of crafted a life that, as you said, you get the most fulfillment out of, and it is through helping others. You know, I think altruism is a funny word because altruism is, you know, giving without receiving and truly doing others without anything in return. And I think that's bullshit, you know, to a degree. I know
Sure.
it's fine to have it as a term, but there's never really an altruistic act because unless you're a sadistic psychopath, if you make someone feel good and do something awesome for them, you're going to feel fantastic at the end of that.
100%.
You know, so
100%.
And I like, you know, I like the word altruism, but it's yeah. So anyway, look, Craig, in the interest of time and not having you here all day, I did want to ask you just about, you know, you're 56 now, you've had a wealth of experience in a million different things, and you're still growing as a person and so on and so forth. So, you know, what does the future look like for you? What are you most fired up about? What's next? What would you like to achieve in the future?
So I want to finish this doctorate. So next time you're going to have to call me Dr. Harps.
Oh, shit.
And I'll be the legit doc, not you, the fucking pretend doc.
Mate, you walk through that door, you're calling me doc as well.
Yeah,
all right? That's the deal. I'll call you Dr. Harper.
Yeah, we're a fair way away from that. I will add a long way away. But, you know, mate, I just love doing the things that I'm doing, and I want to keep... I think that and this is not because I'm 56, I'm saying this, I've thought this since I was 26, is that we age unnecessarily in our culture. Now, I don't mean that biological age, I just mean the way that we think and behave. And, you know, like at 56, my brain, my creativity, my resourcefulness, my problem solving, my communication, my efficiency, productivity is better than when I was at 26 and 36.
Yep.
And that's because I've never stopped learning. And so I think it's really important to keep learning, keep doing new stuff, keep getting uncomfortable, you know, every day I train with a crab who fortunately is not dead anymore. Thanks for undying. That was fucking helpful because I had to find a new training partner. Very inconvenient.
Right in time for Halloween, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have worn him as a suit or something.
Wow, you got some issues. That's pretty funny, though. Pretty funny. And so for me, like just having, you know, we train every day for an hour. We probably train at the gym for an hour and a half and train for fucking 17 minutes because we talk shit and hang out and laugh our asses off, you know. And so for me, that's really, I'm fortunate in that I can go from 60 to 0. I have a really good off switch.
Yep.
I don't. Although I will say the week that the crab died, there was a bit of anxiety and there was a couple of sleepless nights. But as a rule, I have very little anxiety and I'm very calm.
Yep.
And I have an ability over time that I've developed to be able to go from the mayhem and the chaos to, you know, lying on my bed in my jocks watching Everybody Loves Raymond for half an hour or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's important.
That's great. Well, all right, cool. So, Harps, where can people find you? What do you want to plug? If anyone wants more information? Sure.
So you can follow me on Insta, which is just at Whiteboard Lessons. Whiteboard Lessons, one kind of word, at Whiteboard Lessons. Follow me on Facebook, Craig Harper. You'll find me, a couple of pages there. And my website, which is just craigharper.net. And also I've just getting my YouTube channel up and running, and there's probably about 55 videos on there, but there'll be hundreds in the next year or so because I've been very negligent of... So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, stuff will just come to you. No cost, no hooks, catches. You'll never get... I'm never going to try and sell you anything. There's just free stuff. Same on my site. There's lots of free stuff. So, yeah, that'd be great.
Cool.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Craig Harper, thanks for coming along.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
That's great. And that's a wrap.